setup.
Oh, so this is with the so with the factors in the I guess consensus. We're trying to get consensus.
Just the WS.
Yeah. So basically, if like the internet grid goes down, you can like charge hundreds of dollars.
Hey guys, I can hear you.
Oh, here it is.
But it also like stops the companies from normally right now, your house produces more electricity than it consumes. The electricity company will actually pay you for however they take the cut out of that. With like apps like this, you can sell that save electricity to your neighbors. Or they know it's because
So what is the answer to the question?
Oh, Niren, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
I'm not sure. I think you mentioned that it was using like a smart meter, like it has some sort of like ability to communicate with the internet. I'm not sure if they have custom built those things.
Can't be. It must be a specialized. Can't be
Probably is. Yeah, because if it was like a
Check.
regular one, you'd have to have like
I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. We are back.
I guess you could actually move it.
Projection.
Let's see if we can. I was going to plug this in, but does it even work?
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's pretty low volume. Oh. Power. Okay. Okay, we're gonna deal with this setup right now. So, Niren, I'm gonna pull you back to full screen, and we'll go back to the question we were on. Oh, here you are. Check. Okay. Sorry about all that. I think we're back. So if you wanted to answer the question on, what was it again?
Yeah, so I had a question on the credits
and debits,
especially concerning how they're valued, because I'm worried that you might run into a situation where somebody decides to consume energy at a higher rate, and then assuming these credits have some kind of standard value, then maybe they'll try to buy them back when essentially the credits are worth less because there's more energy being produced. Or maybe the same types of folks would wait for some huge amount of inflation to come up in the value of the underlying asset and try to pay everything off later. So, what's your system to kind of keep people squared up and to keep the producers paid fairly? Are these spot prices, are you using like spot prices kind of thing for the energy assets?
So that's a very good question. Being able to value energy over time is a complicated problem. And if you've noticed on your energy bill, like usually it's not valued over time. It's just a flat rate. It's just power. But the world that we're moving into, even from centralized energy companies, is a world where energy is valued differently over time. So for these producers, for these people who are producing renewable energy right now, it's not necessarily associated with the time that you produced it, even though it's basically people can end up getting screwed. But eventually, you'll have a way to say, hey, this was a debt for energy at this time, and the price to settle up, you'll have to settle up with credits for energy that were generated during that time period as well. So you'll have a market price for 1 o'clock energy and 2 o'clock energy and 3 o'clock energy, depending on how a particular market gets quantized in time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
So I guess this might be a dumb question, but is there any physical integration of this system with the meter that's effectively measuring energy coming in and out from the consumer's home?
That's a very good question. So the smart meter that's being used in this project, I believe, has been modified directly to be able to talk to the Ethereum blockchain. So basically, it has this ability to say, hey, we're collecting this data from the smart meter, and then we're publishing that directly to the blockchain using a private key that only that device can access. So in a very real sense, the data is coming directly from a smart meter to the blockchain.
Excellent, thank you.
So what's a typical setup look like? Is it just solar panels and a full Ethereum node and some cables, or?
So I personally have not seen what the setup looks like, but I believe it's just a solar panel setup, a smart grid, a smart meter, and Ethereum node.
Oh, it's really simple. Any other questions?
So I saw ComEd as one of the providers of your little, I don't know if that was a real page or the mock-up. So I imagine you need some kind of broker to go between any individual network you're setting up and then the main power company. Yeah.
So in the real world, it's a very messy problem because the way that today's renewable energy producers, if you put solar panels on your home today and started producing energy, surplus energy that you weren't using in your home, different energy providers deal with that in different ways. The most popular way is called net metering, where if you produce 5 kilowatt hours of energy, they'll just deduct 5 kilowatt hours of energy from your bill. So to actually deal with that in a way where you can produce surplus energy but not get credited by your power company, but instead sell that directly to your neighbor is complicated. But as time goes on, as this infrastructure gets built out, you'll be able to, your energy company will actually be participating in this marketplace and will say, hey, we know you produce this extra energy, but we see here that you sold it to this person, etc. The energy company, it's going to be a long time before energy companies get out of the business of billing customers and making sure all the numbers add up. But over time, it'll be better for them if they can take advantage of the energy that their consumers want to produce and sell to other people.
So this is less disintermediation, and there's actually an attempt to reach out to these energy companies to say, hey, get on this new system, let's work together.
That's correct, and I think that's very true across the economy right now. Like, no matter what you're doing for your day job, if you work for any company of significant size, there's probably some way that the blockchain revolution is going to affect how their business works, how their business model needs to adapt to enable it to make sure that they can keep making money over time. If you're working in a large company that does not have a blockchain initiative and they deal in economics, which is every business ever, to not know how blockchains are going to affect a business is untenable. So basically, we talk to as many companies as we can to try to make sure that they have what they need to make sure their businesses can continue to be profitable as they move forward. We are not trying to target big companies and say, hey, we're going to make sure you don't make money anymore. We're going to say, hey, there's this change that's happening. It is unavoidable. It is like the internet, where at first there were internet businesses, but now they're just businesses. Every business is on the internet. Right now there are blockchain businesses. We're moving to a world where every business will be a blockchain business because it's the fundamental fabric of our economy. So we try to help people transition to that world, including big established companies.
Awesome. Cool. Other questions?
What's next for the transactive grid? I saw the stage 2, but more subscribers, larger, better, bigger. Where are we doing?
So I actually don't know the status of that project right now. We remain very interested in energy, and we try to talk to as many people as we can about how to make sure that we can help them transition to a blockchain economy. But I don't know about that particular deployment. I don't know what's next.
Cool. So I guess one of my last questions, you work for Consensus, and Consensus is like this conglomerate of blockchain efforts going on all at the same time in all different fields across the board. And it just seems pretty crazy some of the time how many projects are going on at once. What's been your experience with Consensus and collaborating with the people there?
It's crazy, but it's amazing. Like I remember that freshman year of college experience where it's like, hey, there's so much new stuff, so many people to talk to, so much stuff to learn. And it's kind of that, except in Slack, also in person sometimes. But like there are all these different people working on all these different kinds of projects, and you have this you're kind of jacked into every development in the blockchain space, and being able to pursue your personal interest, while being tied into all these other things people are doing, really amplifies the ability to make progress, to build things that are going to have an impact on the world. So it's crazy, but it's fantastic.
Awesome. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, you said connecting houses together in order to sell internet. I'm sorry, to sell electricity from house to house. You say it's difficult. Are you implying that that means like you have to run your own separate cables? And if so, like if let's say this were to take off, does the existing electricity grid have to be, you know, built again basically, or is there some way to eventually use the existing infrastructure to accomplish this?
So you can definitely use the existing infrastructure to accomplish this. For that pilot project, they do have slightly different infrastructure. They have a microgrid that can be disconnected from the main grid, so it can operate in isolation in case of emergency, disaster, etc. So that's one way it's different. But on a traditional, normal electricity grid, it's really just a big accounting problem. Some people are producing energy and putting credits on the network. Some people are consuming energy and basically racking up debts. So if you have this, even if you have a normal energy infrastructure, you're just trying to record how much energy is being created and used, whether it's a smart meter, whether it's a dumb meter. If you can measure how much energy is being produced and consumed at various points of the network, you can have the ability to charge people what needs to be charged. And if your energy company is participating in this network, they can say, are we back? I cannot see you guys, if you can see me. Can you hear me? Hello.